start on scripting overview of ServiceNow. And now
Mm-hmm.
we will talk about like what is ServiceNow scripting. So ServiceNow scripting allows configurations and behaviors using JavaScript. Like platform scripting generally means like how you can script in ServiceNow basically, and what is the purpose of utilizing ServiceNow scripting. So if you can see, we are having certain script like generally current dot active equal to false or current dot bug nodes equal to whatever the text they are populating. And generally the language which is used as part of ServiceNow scripting is JavaScript. So a basic JavaScript will be utilized while you query any table or you query any request in ServiceNow. So ServiceNow have their own methods to utilize JavaScript language functionality. Like if suppose there are current previous in server side and we have gform or guser in client side which we are using in ServiceNow. But if you like generate any code or a script, so it will be a JavaScript language. All right. And we can like make complex configurations. Means if suppose there is some configurations which you can utilize, like if you see below when to run and the state is one of closed or cancelled. So this is straightforward conditions and we can utilize directly, like state is one of closed or cancelled. Imagine we don't if suppose we have to check the condition the way using logged in user, and if logged in user has certain role, so we cannot utilize this out of the box configurations thing. So we have to switch to advanced part of configurations in scripting, where we can script and check whether the current logged in user is part of certain roles or whether he is like the part of certain groups. So we can check using complex configurations, and those complex configuration we can like tell it as customizations also using our scripts, and as well as we can make some changes in our instance using condition builder whenever it is possible. So ServiceNow has like one policy, like they want their instance to be very less coded. So they just think like people just utilize our condition builder or out of the box configurations. Like they can just check state is this and they will set the value in actions like active to false or short descriptions to anything. All right. So this is all. This is like a script how we can use in ServiceNow and the purpose how we can use this script on our system. All right. So
Yep.
do you have any questions on this part?
No, no.
All right. So next is like why we should not use script. So if you see like I have already mentioned in previous slide also, ServiceNow tries like people should not use script because a lot of configurations can be done using their configurable steps as part of business rule or client script. They have provided certain things so that you can minimize the use of our code. You can see it is easier to debug and fix configuration changes after an upgrade. Suppose what happens is like, sorry, what happens is like uh, we are upgrading any instance and we have modified existing code which ServiceNow has provided. Now what happens is like the ServiceNow will not upgrade that particular code that was out of the box by ServiceNow, but we have modified it. And after an upgrade, those code will not get upgraded. All right. So this is like a second point which I have justified. And now make sure a script is really needed. So now this is the important part because we have to think like whether the script is really needed. So we have to check how critical is the requirement, or will it or it can be performed using ACLs, or it can be achieved using other configurations in ServiceNow. Like there could be anything like UI policy, client script, or business rule, where we can create our requirement happening without scripting. So there could be multiple ways of fulfilling our use case as part of certain projects. Okay.
Yep.
And we have there could be multiple ways of customizing without scripting, as here we can see like we have ACL, or we have lot of other things which I will tell you in upcoming sessions also, why they are talking about without scripting. Because obviously performance will also increase, right, when we don't use a certain amount of codes in our instance.
Yeah.
So now let's go further, because now we will see like when we should do scripting. So we have first point adding new functionality. Like if suppose there is incident table or incident process in which we already have some functionality, our process, our states are created. Suppose there are 5 states created. Now the client will come, okay, we want some 2 3 more states to be added under incident state field. So we can generate our states, and then we can modify our validations, if any validations is written as part of business rule or server side or client side. So we have to modify our scripts based on the new states added. So that is part like a new functionality. And now if we talk extending existing functionality, suppose uh, we have generated any script, or out of the box a script is there, and they are checking some validations state is one of new or in progress. So they are executing something, but our client comes and tell, okay, on certain states we want to execute certain different things, like they have to trigger notifications, or generate any event, or generate any updation on incident record only. So we can we can extend existing functionality based on that. All right. And we can guide users through messaging. So this is also the thing we can do as part of ServiceNow, because we can generate some user guidance to users. It depends like what they want to generate. It is based on generally client requirement, whether they want it to be created or not. And another one is automate process. So suppose previously some people will be there incident is resolved. Now some person will come, okay, and he will close it manually. But we don't have to do that. Suppose as soon as our incident is closed, after 2 days, 3 days, or 5 days, we can close our incident automatically, just creating our system properties and all, right?
Yep.
And we have like interaction with third party applications. So yeah, so this is also the important one, because here we have to generate REST message, and we can use server side scripting as well to create automation between third party applications. So these are 5 ways when we require to generate some scripting on client side, server side, or to extend the new functionality or old functionality as well. So we can use these thoughts in our mind, like for what purpose we are utilizing the scripting functionality in ServiceNow.
Yep.
So so you're clear on this part?
Yep. So I'm just understanding automate processes means some sort of use cases.
Yeah, automate process is like there is an example I have given, like suppose our incident is resolved by certain user. Now we want it to be closed automatically. Okay. So
Yep.
what we will do is like we can create system property which is created, or we can generate some automation. Okay. We can also instantly close the incident as soon as it is resolved, or we can wait for some 3 days, 5 days, or 7 days to close incident after it is resolved. So some of the place, this is not automated, like they have to manually close the incident after resolving. So this will
Okay.
happen
Yeah,
automatically.
once yeah, probably in the SLAs, right? Like, after 2 days of closing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
incident, it automatically sorry, after 2 days of resolving the incident, it automatically closes.
yeah, yeah,
And guide users through messaging means like approvals, like when some user has to perform some sort of action on the incident form, like approve it. So this is the third use case, right? Third,
yeah,
guide users through messaging. Yep.
yeah. So this one is like we create guided tours for some users, or like you can tell it like a virtual agent or agent chat kind of thing. So this can be done using multiple ways in instance.
Okay, no problem. Yep.
If suppose, if I will give you one more examples, like if suppose we are opening any form and you will see some information. So
Mm-hmm.
let me show you what I'm telling. So this can be multiple ways, but first way I will tell you how it is.
Okay, on load, on change.
So now you will see this message is coming upside, right?
Yep.
Okay, so this message is generated. It is written
On load.
some, yeah, it is written on backend. This is part of a message which is displaying here. So that is coming from certain script. Some
Mm-hmm.
scripting is done on backend side. So you are getting this message here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it is part of all the tables, every place, out of the box configurations. Wherever you go, you will find certain kind of things. See here, we are getting two messages,
Mm-hmm.
right? So those are the part of like this will guide users what you have to do. Suppose they are what is a table? Table is a collection of records in database, right? So this is the guiding message, like this message will
Mm-hmm.
guide us how to create table and what is the what is the table here,
Yep.
right? So those message can be also customized, like if suppose we have to add our separate message, like this form will be used for this, and for changing the priority please update impact or urgency, if suppose we are in incident table, right?
Yep.
So this that way we can guide users through our messaging.
Okay, okay, got it.
Yeah, so this is also the good thing, and many places they will ask you to do this.
Mm.
Okay, so any more point if you are not clear?
No, no, got it.
Okay, now we will see where do our scripts execute. Okay, so first is like client side, other is server side, and other script is like mid server. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
on client side, it if suppose we have example like it will auto populate a field based on another field. So here we can use client side scripting. And if suppose we have to show or hide form sections, or if suppose we have to display something on load of certain form, so we can use client side, because those execution is part of browser level, because those client side is executed in browser side. So we can use certain things here, or we can also display some field message, like under priority field, we can define please change impact urgency to change priority field. So we can define info message as well as part of client side. And as well as we can populate certain fields based on the changing of any other field. Suppose if we are changing the category, so we will change the assignment group based on that. So it can be done using assignment rule as well, but this is just an example. And if suppose we are changing any other field, so the first point which I have mentioned, it will auto populate a field based on the value of another field. Okay, if suppose we have to change the value based on certain value, so we can do it using client side. And those client side scripting will be used under client script, UI policies, and catalog scripting. So those client script will be executed at those levels. And if we talk about server side, so server side script is generally when we are modifying any database record, or we are triggering any flow or workflow. So at that point of time, our server execution will happen. Suppose business we are updating certain things in the database. So at that point of time, server side will execute. And as well as at the time of fetching any record from server side. So that also we can do using server side, because that will fetch the correct and right amount of data in server side. So server side execution is part of a business rule, glide system, glide record, script includes flow designer. All right, so these all places we will use server side, and as well as it is use a workflow also we can use a server side also. And on mid server, so this mid server is we are installing our mid server on a Windows server or Linux servers. All right, so there also we can execute our script, and those script will be of server side, because we don't have certain forms or things to be executed. So that those things will be happening on database server side only. Whatever execution will happen as part of mid server scripting. So do you have questions on any part here?
No, no, that's fine.
Yeah. So now how we will do our scripting in ServiceNow. So we will see like what would be the editor in our ServiceNow. So if you see in a screenshot, we have our editor where we can script our code, right? So we can see we have written certain lines of script here, and now we have certain things that can be utilized for our code optimization. Like we have this comment, and we have like a formatting of code, and this lens icon will search our code if we have to search any text inside this scripting. And we can scroll up and scroll down for our search text. And this button, if you will click, this will be maximized, like the small screen will become a big screen where you can code. And here you can find the help, whether our code is correct or not. And this button is used for saving the script as part of this syntax editor. And here you can see this is the script watcher, where our script will be using, and we can see like how our script has been executed. So like you can see what it offers, we automatic JavaScript syntax coloring, auto indentation, line numbers, and creation of closing braces and quotes. So suppose we have multiple editors, like we used to do code in Java or .NET. We have separate syntax editors like NetBeans or certain Visual Studio for .NET. So same way we have syntax editor for ServiceNow, for which those coloring will be generated based on our script, how we will write. Because this script will look good, and we it is easy to identify if some script is causing any issues. So this helps us to check our script properly. And context sensitive help, so here we can we can check our syntax, like on clicking on this we can check all the context. Like context means, if suppose we have started our scripting, and we will check whether we are writing correct or not, those context sensitive help will come automatically. If suppose we are writing any wrong thing, it will start appearing, okay, you have to do this, or it will start giving you some warning. Based on that, you can correct your code. And we have code editing functions, like if suppose we are having this parameters current or previous, so we can utilize those current or previous. And a certain out of the box thing like GS glide system object also is accessible here in scripts, and we can use it. So suppose we will write GS dot, so you will get all the method whichever we can utilize as part of glide system. And we have editor macros for typing command commonly used code. If suppose we want to use just a text field, not like a properly viewed system, so we can also do that by clicking here. But you will not get the line number, and you will not see whether it is a function, or all the coloring will go, and you have to type just like a text. And this syntax error checking, you can see we can check the syntax error, uh, like it automatically checks. By the way, we don't have to check it manually. It will check automatically where we are doing certain wrong things, like we are providing right quotes or not, we are making a closing parenthesis correctly or not. So that will be taken care automatically by our scripting syntax editor itself. So you might have utilized also in some parts this particular section, right?
Yep.
All right. So do you have any questions on this part?
Oh, fine. I have a small doubt, Prashant. We are moving to UI builder side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but still uses these functionalities, or
Yeah, yeah.
it needs
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I heard
No,
that
see,
Angular JS.
see, Angular J, that is like UI thing, front end thing, like service portal. So Angular
Okay.
JS, Angular JavaScript is used under service portal kind of things,
Okay.
where we use bootstrap like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Angular JavaScript. So there we are utilizing bootstrap kind of thing. So that is
Mm,
completely separate part.
okay.
Yeah, so there that scope is separate actually.
Mm-hmm.
But basic scripting thing will you will get everywhere, basic things. And there
Mm-hmm.
also you will get same editor, same kind of editor, and same thing will be checked there as well. So this script in ServiceNow is common to every place. Wherever we are doing scripting, same things will be utilized, and same feature will be used to check errors, and same way those editing functions or braces and codes will generate.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So those syntax editor is same for everything in the ServiceNow. That will not change.
Mm-hmm.
That will only change if we are on client side, so it will show you client side objects. If you are in server side, then it will show server side type of objects. So this syntax editor will be same throughout the ServiceNow instance.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so let's move further. Syntax editor, syntax coloring. And now here, or what is the use of those coloring thing? If you see, there is a lot of things which is displayed as part of this image. So like how the color is applied to our script for readability. Now you will see this is some lines of code written, which is easily viewable, right? Hello.
Yep.
If suppose, if imagine if everything is written on a single font or single color, you will be not be identifying the things what is written here, right?
Yep.
So now they have like categorized in based on coloring thing, so that you can find what script you have written or what script is causing the problem. If suppose this purple color is for we are generating any variable, or we are using any methods like if else or function, okay, or object, most of the time this purple will be used. And this function or variable name, so blue will be for like function or variable names or strings. You will see like a blue for strings and for declaring some object for certain fields. And green will be for commenting. If you see there is a comment here, create a member group, but this is commented, so this commented text will be shown in green color. And if you see bold plus italics, why it is showing this bold plus italics? So it will tell you like whether it is coming from other table, or like it is if you see we are having this dot get parameter, but this is not italics and bold because this is not coming, this is not a table. But if you see glide record, this is the table, and if we click here we will see all the records based on this table as well. Okay, so that's why this is bold plus italics, like it is referencing to some other record. So that's why it is bold plus italics. So this will like help us to identify the lines of code or the functionality, where what functionality we have written in any place in ServiceNow. Suppose they are taking group name, message, and group ID. Now they are checking, they are creating a member group, and they are checking if member is part of certain group. Then they are displaying some message like there are no members in this assignment group. Basically this script is checking whether current member is part of certain assignment group or not. All right, so this way it is very easy to read our code. So that's why they are using syntax coloring.
Yep.
Right, if you see like everything will be in same color and no text and formatting will happen, you will not understand what is the code about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So next is like braces and quotes here. So if suppose we are writing any code, or yeah, we are writing any code, and you can see the example where table label equal to gform dot get value. And as soon as we will click, we will create write a get value or dot pop to get value, then automatically those closing parentheses will generate, like opening and closing of parentheses will be created automatically. You can see closing parentheses, braces, and quotes automatically inserted as you type. As we click enter dot get value, so those will get generated automatically. And same way, if you are generating any function, so those braces will create automatically. And if we are generating, if you see inside this function, we have if block. This parenthesis also is there, opening and closing. So this will get auto generated as soon as we create any function or any operator checks. All right.
Yep.
So those are very basic things. Like if you know, if you will understand, then you will be like in very comfortable position in coming sessions. I know this session will be, you will not get any place. This kind of content and sessions you will not get anywhere.
Yeah.
This is like a special thing like which I have generated, and I have shared some other place, but this is unique thing. You will not get these basic details anywhere.
That's good. Yep.
You can see because this I have created a pictorial representation, right? So
Yeah.
this helps understanding people very easily.
Yep.
Now you can see context sensitive. Now here you can see we have a certain glide form, glide list, glide navigation, glide user, and set message, SP util, glide ajax, glide dialog window, glide record. So if you click control plus space bar, then you will see all those methods can be utilized under this. This is like a client side coding area or syntax editor. So you can see all the client side methods or objects are displaying here, how we can use it, right? So it
Uh,
will
I I just wanted to know how, like, we can only go with the G form or, glide user. Those
see,
probably in
yeah,
the
yeah,
next sessions I will understand.
yeah. So
It's,
see, it's very simple. If anything and starting G underscore user, G underscore form, G underscore list. So you have to understand this is just client script. That's it.
yep.
And if you are
Okay,
using
anything with a glide, it's a server side, right?
ye- on server side, it will be gs dot add info message, gs dot get user id, gs
Uh,
dot add info message, gs dot add error message. So anything starting with gs dot, so that would be server side.
what about this glide record, glide system?
This you are talking about glide
Yeah,
record.
yeah.
See, this can be utilized in client side as well, but it is not recommended to use in client side because
Mm.
we are glide record is like we are executing a server side script, so it's better to use on server side. So that's the recommendation. It can be utilized here as well, but that is not recommended. And rest all you can utilize in a client side very frequently. Those are part of client side itself. But glide record, it's like best practice to use in server side only. They can use in client side as well, but that will cause the performance issue. All right.
I'm plugging my
Plugin
laptop
is separate
charging.
thing, so that thing is separate thing. You don't have to worry about that.
No, no, I'm plugging my laptop.
Okay, you can do it.
Yep, you can go ahead.
Okay, so list methods for a class. If suppose we are typing g underscore form dot, so we can see we will get valid methods to utilize under is g form dot. So we can see which of the methods we can utilize as part of g form dot value. Okay, so we can get all the methods, which methods to be utilized as part of your requirement. Suppose they will ask you to set some info message, error message, or read only or mandatory. So you can get all those methods here and you can directly use it. And if you see list expected parameters. So now if you see how this code is added, gform dot add decoration. So those add decoration is added here, and now based on this method some of the parameters will start displaying, like how you can use this add decoration. So you can see add decoration, we can define field name and we can define some string and title. So this will be created as this parameters we have to pass, and based on those parameters passed, you will get the execution happening on your form as soon as you execute certain scripts.
Yep.
Okay. And now we have context sensitive syntax in syntax editor. So now if you see, properties assigned to a locally declared object are also included in the list of suggestions. If suppose we have generated this particular object, my object. So this is the locally declared object. Suppose this is object which I have created, and this is the locally declared object, my string, my integer, my array. Okay. And now if you see this my object dot, you can see all the objects started displaying. Under my object, you will get my array, my integer, my string. So those are the things which started displaying here. So those are locally declared object, which can be also visible using this dot blocking of the object which you have created. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, this is like a basic coding strategy which we can use in, we don't have to use multiple times like certain message or certain string or something. We can declare some object and we can utilize in our script. So this is more useful when we have large number of number of lines of code will be more. So this will be the good thing which we can utilize in certain kind of codes. If suppose that would be like 20 or 30 or 40 lines of code, at that point of time this is very helpful, and you can utilize it to use in your script as per the requirements. So you are clear about it.
Yep.
And now we have context menu, which I was mentioning earlier related to this bold plus italics. Now you can see this is, if we click on this, so that would be like context menu. We are clicking on that is called the context menu, this one. And we will click and you can see we can show the data, we can find the references or show definition. So show definition will show what this table is all about, and show data will display all the data with this particular table g sys underscore gr underscore gr member. And find reference, what find reference will show, it will show what all script is written as part of this table, what all scripting is written in ServiceNow using this table. So this will this on click of this you will get all the details in the new tab, and you will see what all things has written as part of this particular table. So this will also be very much useful if suppose you are writing any code, so you can check whether you can utilize existing scripts or not. Okay.
Yep.
So this is also very
So
useful when
if
we
we write this code, if we click that line, it will show all this data, right? Show definition, show
yeah,
reference.
yeah, show data will show all the data, and definition will show what is what things is inside this table, and references will show what all coding is written as part of this table. So you will see the context menu allows user to navigate to script, include definitions, glide API documentation, system and custom table definitions and data. So it will show all the details using this navigations which displayed here.
Yep.
Okay, so this will also be utilized, and it will be used mostly when you will write any script. And now we can see, now you will see the example when we clicked on find reference. So you can see as soon as we have clicked on that, we have got these all business rule script include generated for this particular sys user gr member table. You can see all those 30 files are there, right? It means there are 30 scripting thing where we have utilized sys underscore gr underscore sys user gr member table. So this way you will be identifying whether you are using or your script again, or you can utilize the existing scripts on your logic. So you can check that as well.
Does it populate or you just normally check and create this in form?
So like it's like general practice. Like who would be like be a developer or developing anything, they will check at least once, like what is written as part of this, or whether someone has already created something as part of this table. So they can just check whether they are on right path or not.
Okay.
So this
Yep.
way they can identify whether they are on right path or not. Because there might be a chance someone has already written some script and you are writing the script again, right?
Yeah.
So that will cause performance issue, because business rules are generally executing on server side, so this will make our instance running slow,
Mm.
right? So that's why like these kind of things are there, so that people follows the best practice or best scripting strategy.
Okay.
All right, so let's move further. And you can see we have like syntax editor, toolbar, JavaScript code editing functions. So these are all mentioned here, like toggle the syntax editor on and off. This is the toggle syntax editor. Comment on uncomment selected code. You can comment using this. Like you
Mm-hmm.
can select and you can just click here and those line will get commented out, and
Mm-hmm.
you will select again, then you can do on comment also. This is code formatting, and this is used for replace, this is used for replace all, this is used for searching any text in our script, and this is for next and previous button, which I have
Mm-hmm.
mentioned earlier, right? And this is the display full screen editing mode. If you click on
Yeah.
this one, it will make your editing in full screen.
Big screen. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the keyboard help shortcut, like this one. This is
Mm-hmm.
not used generally because it will take much time. So people will use manually itself. They don't want to check anything here.
Yep.
And this is the save button. If suppose they don't want to use or they want to use this, then they can use directly this save button, and this save button will save the scripting.
Yep.
This is the syntax error checking. It will check automatically, but if you want to check, you can check it. If suppose you have written code and you didn't find any errors, so you can just click here once and check whether you have any errors or not.
Yep.
And this is the script debugger. So here we can see like how our scripting is executed whenever any action is performed. Okay.
Yep.
So we have enable or disable editor. Like I mentioned initially, like you can disable this coloring and all. So
Mm-hmm.
as soon as we will click on toggle syntax editor to enable or disable syntax editor. So as soon as we will click here, so you will see this bad way of viewing data. So it will appear this way. Okay, that is not looking at all very good, right?
Yep.
So if we disable it, you will see very bad line of code displaying here, and you will not see what is happening here after disabling this syntax editor. So it's better we use editor on enabled mode only.
Mm.
Okay. So any questions here?
No, no, fine.
Okay. And like we have like syntax editor comment and uncomment here. So you can see this way, like we can select these two lines of code and we can select toggle comment. So those two lines are commented out,
Yep.
right? And same way, if you select these two lines and you will see toggle uncomment here, same way. So these lines will be uncommented.
Mm.
It will be viewing same way how it was viewing previously. So this is the way how we can comment or uncomment our coding.
Yeah.
And here we are having format code, so which I have mentioned earlier, but we can see again. So if you see, we have written code this way. So this is not looking correct, right? This is not
Mm-hmm.
correct representation of scripting. Okay, now as soon as we will click on this format code, you will see how our code is started displaying. So it is looking good, right? This
Yep.
for loop alert has moved here, and this if block, you will see our scripting is in a proper formatted code. So this way we can read our code very easily. And here if you see replace and replace all, so you can utilize this feature, replace all. You will find something or you have to replace, so you can select particular replacement or the replacement in every place in the syntax editor. So you can utilize this replace all button upside in syntax editor. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this is the replacement under syntax editor. And syntax editor, we have search, so we can search the various things under our code. If suppose we have to search anything, like we have written some code and we are finding like which line of code we have written this text, so you can search and you will get the result. Suppose in search this person has written g underscore form, so you will see this will highlight us on some different color. G form, this yellow color will be displayed. And why this is gray? Because we are on this point. Our cursor is here. That's why this is not showing yellow. If we will click on find or find next or find previous one, so those cursor will pass here, 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 and using this, your cursor can be passed through all the searching strings. Okay.
Yep.
So we have full screen editing. I have already mentioned. Like if we click on this full screen editing, you will see the code displaying this way, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we can go ahead because this I have mentioned previously. And here you can see syntax error checking, how error displays.
Mm-hmm.
So you will
Yep.
see here also they have mentioned syntax is automatically checked as you type. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't have to check our syntax multiple times. It will be displaying instantly or while saving the record. If you see here, we are not trying to save, but error is showing before only. Like this is some error, you have to fix this first, then only this thing will be proceed. Okay. So this syntax editor will help you like on tracking whether you are writing the correct lines of code or not. Okay.
Yep.
And those are the classes like which you mentioned, right? Which you were asking, like glide system or glide user, right? Glide form.
Yep.
So those are client side classes: glide ajax, glide form, glide list, glide record, glide user, SP model. So this glide form is g underscore form. Okay. And same way glide user is g underscore user. Okay, so those are all client side classes. And under server side classes, we have glide aggregate, glide date time, so glide record, glide system, JSON workflow, right?
Yep.
So we can see like these server side classes are mentioned here. So this I will show you in future session, like how we can utilize our client side classes and server side classes. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are APIs only, like you were mentioning, right? So
Yep.
those are APIs which I will tell you how we can use it. And now this is like if suppose you have to visit ServiceNow documentation, or you have to check more server side or client side APIs. So there are hundreds of those. If you go to the ServiceNow developer side, you will get more list like 100 or more than 100. There are a lot of APIs. So you can go to this documentation and you can select this field and you can see all other APIs which will be visible. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the ServiceNow website, developer.servicenow.com.
Yep. Yep. I know.
Yeah, so there you will get all the list. Like there is huge list
List
anyway.
of APIs. Yep.
Yeah, we cannot like document it on 1 or 2 page.
So much. So
Yeah,
many. Even include methods.
yeah, including methods, they have multiple.
Mm.
And now we have JavaScript in ServiceNow. So now if you see, we are using like ECMAScript 5 standard in JavaScript engine. We have like compatibility mode and like ECMAScript 5 standard. So in generally ServiceNow using ECMAScript 5 standard of executing JavaScript. So this is the right uh, standard which ServiceNow JavaScript engine is used. Okay,
Yep.
this compatibility in mode nobody uses it generally anyway. Okay, so now we can see like where through which place we can check our scripting resources. So we have like ServiceNow scripting resources here, now community and ServiceNow user group, product documentation, developer documentation, now learning. So this you might have already aware, right? These all things.
Yeah.
And this is the JavaScripting resource if suppose you want to learn any JavaScript, right?
Yeah.
So I think so this is all about like ServiceNow basic scripting thing.
Mm.